Stop waiting for the right moment to begin again. There is no perfect time, no ideal condition, no external signal that will announce your rebirth. Life does not pause to prepare you for renewal. It pushes, it tests, it breaks patterns, and then it watches to see who has the courage to rise deliberately. If you are listening to this now, understand one thing clearly. This moment is not random. You are here because something in your life demands change, and deep down you already know it. Beginning again is not an act of desperation. It is an act of intelligence. Most people fear starting over because they believe it confirms failure. That belief is false. Beginning again is not proof that you were weak. It is proof that you are awake. Only those who are conscious of their potential feel the discomfort of stagnation. The rest merely drift. You, however, have reached the point where remaining the same is more painful than change. That is the birthplace of transformation. To begin again, truly and powerfully, you must first understand that life operates by law, not luck. Every result you experience is the consequence of thoughts you have entertained, decisions you have made, habits you have repeated, and standards you have tolerated. This is not meant to shame you. It is meant to empower you. If your past was created by patterns, then your future can be redesigned by new ones. Nothing is fixed except your willingness to change. The first act of beginning again is mental separation from your former identity. You cannot build a stronger future while clinging to the emotional habits of your past. The person you were yesterday served a purpose, to bring you to awareness. But that version of you is not required for the next chapter. Carry the lessons forward, but leave the limitations behind. Growth demands detachment. You must now make a decision that is firm, final, and absolute. Indecision is the graveyard of renewal. As long as you are half committed, you will move half-heartedly. The mind does not respond to wishes. It responds to commands. Decide that you are no longer negotiating with doubt. Decide that quitting is no longer an option you entertain. Decide that whatever effort is required, you will give it. This decision alone begins rewiring your inner system. Beginning again also requires brutal honesty. You must look at your life without excuses and without emotional distortion. Where did you lower your standards? Where did you accept less than you knew you were capable of? Where did you delay action because fear felt safer than responsibility? These questions are uncomfortable, but they are necessary. Comfort never created strength. Truth does. Do not confuse self-reflection with self-attack. You are not here to punish yourself. You are here to reclaim authority over your direction. The moment you stop blaming circumstances and start examining choices, your power returns. Responsibility is not a burden. It is freedom in its purest form. Now understand this clearly. Beginning again does not require massive action all at once. It requires alignment. When your thoughts, words, and actions move in the same direction, momentum follows naturally. Most people exhaust themselves because they act without belief or believe without action. You must unite both. Start by establishing a new inner dialogue. The way you speak to yourself determines how you show up in the world. If your internal language is weak, your external results will reflect it. Speak with certainty, even before evidence appears. Confidence is not built after success. Success follows confidence. Tell yourself daily that you are rebuilding with intention, discipline, and clarity. Repetition conditions belief, and belief directs behavior. Next, redefine your relationship with discipline. Discipline is not punishment. It is self-respect in action. When you do what you said you would do, you reinforce trust in yourself. That trust becomes emotional stability. Emotional stability becomes confidence. Confidence becomes decisive action. Everything builds from there. Begin with one disciplined act each day. Protect it. Honor it. Let it prove to you that you are no longer the person who breaks promises to yourself. You must also understand that beginning again will require patience without hesitation. Results will not appear instantly, but movement must begin immediately. Do not wait to feel motivated. Motivation is a byproduct of progress, not its cause. Act first. Energy follows action. Clarity follows engagement. The longer you wait, the louder fear becomes. As you rebuild, eliminate comparison completely. Comparison destroys renewal because it anchors you to timelines that are not yours. Your path is unique because your experiences are unique. Measure progress only against who you were yesterday. Improvement compounds quietly, and one day you realize you are operating at a level you once thought impossible. Another critical element of beginning again is emotional control. You cannot afford emotional chaos. Life will test you repeatedly as you rise. Old doubts will return. External resistance will appear. Opinions will surface. If your emotions govern your actions, progress will stall. Learn to pause before reacting. Learn to think before responding. Calm is power. Stillness is strength. Your environment must also evolve. You cannot rebuild in the same conditions that contributed to your collapse. This includes physical spaces, media consumption, conversations, and influences. Remove what distracts. Reduce what drains. Increase exposure to ideas that elevate your thinking. Your mind absorbs what it repeatedly encounters. Feed it deliberately. Beginning again also means redefining failure. Failure is not evidence of inadequacy, it is feedback. Every setback reveals what must be adjusted. Those who succeed faster are not those who avoid failure, but those who respond to it intelligently. Each mistake refines your strategy. Each obstacle strengthens your resolve. Nothing is wasted if you remain conscious. You must now create a compelling direction. A vague future invites confusion. A clear aim organizes effort. Decide what kind of person you're becoming, not just what you want to achieve. Character precedes accomplishment. When your identity aligns with your goals, consistency becomes natural. Ask yourself, what qualities must I embody to sustain the success I desire? Then begin practicing them now. Faith plays a vital role in renewal. Not blind faith, but intelligent faith. The conviction that disciplined effort applied consistently produces results. Believe in process over outcome. Believe in growth over speed. Believe that your present effort is shaping a future you cannot yet fully see. Faith keeps you moving when evidence is delayed. There will be moments when the temptation to return to old habits appears. This is normal. The mind resists change because familiarity feels safe. When this happens, remind yourself why you began again. Recall the dissatisfaction that pushed you to this moment. Do not romanticize the past. You left it for a reason. As you continue, understand that strength is built through repetition. Each day you choose progress over comfort, you reinforce a new identity. Identity is the most powerful force in human behavior. Once you see yourself as disciplined, resilient, and purposeful, your actions will follow naturally. Beginning again also requires humility. You must be willing to learn. You must be willing to admit you do not know everything. Growth demands openness. Seek knowledge. Study success. Observe patterns. Apply what works. The most powerful people remain perpetual students of life. Finally, commit to persistence. Not emotional persistence, but disciplined persistence. Continue even when enthusiasm fades. Continue when results are slow. Continue when no one is watching. Persistence is the separator between those who restart repeatedly and those who rebuild permanently. This is not about reinventing yourself overnight. It is about reconstructing your life brick by brick with intention. Every disciplined action is a brick. Every honest thought is a brick. Every courageous decision is a brick. Over time, a structure forms, stronger, wiser, unshakable. Beginning again is not a step backward. It is a strategic reset. You are not late. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are in the exact position required to create a stronger version of yourself, one forged by awareness, strengthened by experience, and driven by clarity. Stand firm in this truth. Your past prepared you. It did not disqualify you. From this moment forward, you move with purpose. You act with discipline. You think with clarity. You build with patience. And as you do, you will realize that beginning again was not the end of something, it was the beginning of everything that truly matters. The foundation of beginning again, stronger than ever, lies not in dramatic overnight transformation, but in the silent, disciplined accumulation of small victories. After you've made the decision to begin again, you are confronted with a new reality. Every day now presents you with choices, and those choices are building blocks of your comeback. Understand that the universe does not hand out rewards to those who simply wish for them. It responds with unerring accuracy to the person who moves with conviction and who backs intent with relentless, repeated action. No force is as powerful as the will to keep advancing when the path ahead is uncertain and the memory of failure is still fresh. This is where most fall, at the altar of doubt. But you are not most people. When the old doubts return, when fatigue creeps in, remind yourself, you are not fighting against your past. You are building a new present. That is a war fought with discipline, not emotion. There will be mornings when you do not want to get up and evenings when you question why you are still trying. On those days, do not look for grand results. Look for a reason to take one more step. It is the daily repetition of small, positive actions, no matter how insignificant they seem, that forms the backbone of unbreakable character. Build habits, not fantasies. Your systems must be stronger than your moods. It is not enough to visualize a better future. You must engineer it. The process is both creative and mechanical. Begin by writing down exactly what you want. Do not generalize or hide behind vague wishes. Be precise. If you want to rebuild your career, what industry, what position, what skills? If you want to repair a relationship, what behaviors must change? What conversations must be had? What standards will you hold? Clarity is a magnet for opportunity. Ambiguity repels it. You must instruct your mind to focus like a heat-seeking missile on the future you have chosen. Yet, vision alone is powerless unless it is matched by strategy. Break your goal into actionable steps. Every mountain is climbed one decision at a time. Make a list of daily actions and make those actions non-negotiable. Do not make your effort conditional on motivation. If you rely on mood to drive your work, you have already surrendered to inconsistency. Success is a slave to discipline, not inspiration. When you inevitably encounter setbacks, view them not as confirmation of your inadequacy, but as calibration. Life is a constant feedback loop. The person who rises strongest is the one who interprets failure as information, not indictment. Ask yourself after every mistake, what can I learn? What will I do differently? Then act immediately on that knowledge. The speed at which you implement corrections is the true accelerator of success. Guard your mind from negative influence as you would your health from disease. The opinions of others, the constant noise of society, the voice of your former self, these are thieves of progress. Do not broadcast your ambitions to those who will not encourage or challenge you constructively. Protect your environment. Read only what expands you. Listen only to those who sharpen you. Associate only with those who demand the best of you. You are the average of your influences. Raise that average daily. Emotional management is critical. A mind governed by anxiety cannot create a future of strength. Learn to observe your emotions without being ruled by them. If frustration or fear arise, notice them, accept them, but do not surrender your progress. Use routines to anchor your day. Early rising, reading, exercise, silence. These rituals build an inner scaffolding that sustains you through turbulence. You are not your emotions. You are the captain steering through them. As you continue rebuilding, expect moments of loneliness. Renewal is often a solitary path because few have the courage to leave comfort and chase reinvention. Do not seek validation. Seek mastery. The applause of the world is fleeting, but the respect you earn from yourself is eternal. Build in silence. Let results speak when you are ready. Financial discipline is part of beginning again. Track every penny. Waste nothing. Channel resources toward growth. Books, courses, skill building. Reject instant gratification. Wealth, like character, is created one disciplined decision at a time. Do not try to impress others. Impress yourself with your ability to delay pleasure for the sake of future abundance. Set firm boundaries. Many people will expect you to revert to old behaviors because your growth threatens their complacency. Decline invitations to mediocrity. You are not required to explain your standards. The right people will respect your priorities. The wrong ones will fall away. That is a blessing in disguise. Leverage your energy by focusing on progress, not perfection. Every attempt to do it all perfectly is just fear dressed up as high standards. Excellence is born from improvement, not from the illusion of flawlessness. When you stumble, do not criticize, analyze, adjust, and execute again. Life does not care if you fell yesterday. It only cares if you rise today. Keep a written record of your wins, no matter how small. The human mind is wired to remember pain and forget triumph. Journaling your progress serves as evidence of change and will become your greatest ally on days when doubt tries to regain control. Read your victories aloud to yourself. Remind your subconscious that progress is being made even when it seems invisible. Create micro rewards for discipline. When you hit a target, celebrate, not with excess, but with acknowledgement. Allow your brain to associate hard work with fulfillment. This triggers a feedback loop that accelerates commitment. Success is less about the distant finish line than about enjoying each mile of the race. Make peace with discomfort. Growth is, by definition, uncomfortable. Every great achievement was born from the decision to embrace temporary pain for permanent advancement. When you feel resistance, smile at it. It is the sign that you are on the edge of transformation. The masses retreat at the first sign of discomfort. The exceptional press forward and claim rewards reserved only for the persistent. Anchor your identity to action, not outcome. The person who says, I am a disciplined builder of my own future, is far more likely to persist than the person who says, I hope to become successful someday. You are what you repeatedly do. Excellence is not an event, it is a system. Monitor your self-talk ruthlessly. The story you repeat internally will become your external reality. Refuse to indulge in language of limitation. Replace I can't with how can I. Replace it's too late with now is my time. Use affirmations with conviction and specificity. The mind will believe whatever is repeated with enough emotion and frequency. Set milestones for your journey. These are not just markers of progress, but also reminders that you are moving. Without milestones, it is easy to lose sight of how far you have come. Celebrate reaching them, then set new ones immediately. Growth is an endless road. Each milestone is just another beginning. As your confidence grows, begin to mentor others. The greatest way to solidify new beliefs is to teach them. Share your story with those who are struggling to begin again. This will not only inspire them, it will reinforce your own transformation. The leader who lifts others is always lifted in return. As you move forward, realize that beginning again is not a one-time event, but a lifestyle. There will be many cycles of growth, plateau, setback, and rebirth. Embrace this rhythm. The person who welcomes new beginnings never grows stale. Renewal is the secret to vitality. If you falter, forgive yourself instantly. Do not drag shame from yesterday into today. Reset, refocus, and resume your journey. The world belongs to those who keep going. When you look back years from now, it will not be the mistakes you remember. It will be the courage to begin again, again, and again. End each day with gratitude. Acknowledge the opportunity to rebuild, the strength to persist, and the vision that led you to demand more of yourself. Gratitude fuels optimism. Optimism powers persistence. Persistence becomes greatness. This is how you begin again, not as a victim of circumstance, but as a creator of destiny. Every decision is a vote for your future. Cast those votes daily and watch as the world quietly yields to your unwavering commitment. You are not starting over. You are starting higher, with wisdom forged by the fire of experience. Act accordingly. No matter how many times you have tried before, how many times you have failed, or how deep the wounds of yesterday run, the moment you decide to rise and build again is the moment you regain your power. The world belongs to those who refuse to let the past become their prison. As you move forward in your journey to begin again, you must realize that your self-concept, what you truly believe about your capabilities, will either limit you or liberate you. Too many people let their identity become cemented in their defeats. You must become ruthless about cutting away the narrative that says you are broken, unworthy, or incapable. Every great reinvention in history began the moment someone declared, I am not my failures. Speak this truth into your bones. You are defined by the actions you take today, not by the mistakes that haunt your memory. This is not a call for hollow self-affirmations, but for an active rewriting of the mental scripts that shape your destiny. The mind will repeat whatever you feed it most often. If you want to rebuild yourself, you must become vigilant in your self-talk. Monitor your thoughts as a watchman guards the city gates. The instant you hear yourself whisper, I can't, replace it with I will. When you notice a pattern of hesitation, attack it with decisive movement. When old fears surface, confront them with relentless logic. Is this fear based on truth or on a distorted memory of pain? Begin to catalog your strengths and small victories. Review them every day. You are reprogramming your mind for forward motion. That is the only direction success understands. Take ownership for everything in your environment. Responsibility is not a burden, it is the lever of change. The one who blames the world for their troubles is powerless to shape it. The one who accepts full ownership of their circumstances, even those they did not choose, becomes master over their fate. Audit your daily life, your habits, your associations, your use of time, the state of your living and working environment. Anything that does not serve your renewed purpose must go. Ruthlessness in pruning mediocrity is a hallmark of all who build greatness from nothing. Rebuilding is as much about subtraction as addition. You will find yourself in moments of reflection realizing that some friendships, routines, or even beliefs that once comforted you now only weigh you down. Don't hesitate to let them fall away. Nature abhors a vacuum. When you remove the unnecessary, the essential rushes in to take its place. Do not fear emptiness. It is the precursor to new growth. Establish daily routines that reinforce your new identity. Morning rituals are particularly powerful. Rise early, journal your intentions, move your body, nourish your mind with reading. These seemingly small acts, when repeated without fail, become the scaffolding on which a new self is built. Each day that you honor your commitments to yourself, you grow in self-respect, and with it, the momentum of confidence. Self-trust is earned one promise at a time. When you say you will do something, follow through, even if no one else is watching, especially if no one else is watching. Create an environment of accountability. Find a mentor, a peer, or a group who will hold you to the highest standard and who will not tolerate your excuses. If you cannot find such a circle, be your own harshest judge. Set weekly targets. If you miss them, analyze the failure, design a new plan, and move forward immediately. The world will only believe in you as much as you believe in your standards. As you progress, track your wins meticulously. Each small victory, each day you follow your plan, each temptation resisted, each fear overcome, add a tally to your private record. In time, you will look back and realize that you are not the same person who began this journey. That is how identity is forged, not through dramatic moments, but through the patient, daily accumulation of proof that you are becoming who you say you are. The process will test you. There will be days when fatigue and discouragement try to convince you to settle. Remember, settling is the enemy of destiny. The temptation to revert to comfort will always be strongest right before a breakthrough. When you feel this pull, take it as a sign that you are close to outgrowing your old self. Push through. The next level is reserved for those who endure when everyone else folds. Don't become a prisoner of comparison. In an age where everyone advertises their highlights, it's easy to feel behind. Focus on your lane. You are not competing against the world, but against your own previous best. Set your sights on outdoing yourself, day by day. Improvement is the only true scoreboard that matters. Build the skill of focus. Nothing destroys potential faster than distraction. The greatest advantage you can give yourself in rebuilding is the ability to work deeply on one thing at a time. Eliminate notifications, refuse to multitask, and schedule uninterrupted time blocks for your most important work. You will get more done in 2 hours of focused effort than most achieve in a week of scattered activity. The world rewards those who bring intensity to their purpose. Embrace the necessity of sacrifice. Every meaningful comeback demands that you give up something of lesser value for the sake of something greater. It may be leisure time, unproductive habits, the approval of certain people, or the comfort of routine. Ask yourself daily, what am I willing to give up in order to create my new life? The answer will define how far you rise. Understand that the rebuilding process is not linear. There will be plateaus and even regressions on the way to mastery. When you encounter these inevitable slow periods, resist the urge to quit or dramatically change course. Instead, double down on your process. Often, the results are accumulating out of sight, and it is the person who keeps showing up that eventually breaks through. Trust in the invisible compounding of effort. Reframe obstacles as opportunities. Each challenge you face is custom designed to strengthen a weakness in your character or to impart a lesson you will need later. When difficulties arise, do not ask, "Why me?" but rather, "What is this here to teach me?" Mine every struggle for wisdom, and you will become unbreakable. Practice gratitude as an antidote to discouragement. At the end of each day, record 3 things you are thankful for, no matter how small. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is lacking to what is possible. It is impossible to be both grateful and defeated at the same time. This mindset will sustain you when willpower alone fails. Invest in learning. Every dollar and minute spent on your education is a down payment on your new future. Read biographies of those who rebuilt themselves. Attend seminars. Seek out new skills. Even if they feel unrelated, often the breakthrough comes from an unexpected direction. The more you learn, the more opportunities you will see. Use your setbacks as fuel. The memory of pain is a powerful motivator if you harness it correctly. Rather than wallowing in regret, use your disappointment to intensify your resolve. Let your scars remind you not of loss, but of the fact that you survived and are still standing. Channel that energy into productive action. Surround yourself with reminders of your goal. Place affirmations, images, or objects in your environment that symbolize your new direction. Let your physical world reflect your internal transformation. The mind is shaped by what it sees and hears repeatedly. Make sure your environment broadcasts the message of who you are becoming. Cultivate patience. True change takes time. The urge for immediate results is the enemy of lasting transformation. Trust the process. Day by day, you are moving closer to your vision, even when the progress is invisible. Most people quit just before the finish line. Persevere. Speak your intentions aloud every morning. There is power in vocalizing your commitment. Declare, "I am rebuilding myself stronger than before." Every day, I am growing, learning, and moving forward. The act of speaking reinforces belief and draws your subconscious into alignment with your conscious goals. Keep your journey private when necessary. Not everyone will understand or support your mission to begin anew. Some will doubt you. Others will resent your progress. Move in silence, letting results speak for you. Protect your dreams from those who would sow seeds of doubt. Remember, success is not a matter of luck, but of daily choice. Every morning, you are presented with a decision. Will you advance or will you stagnate? Choose progress, no matter how small. The path of self-reinvention is paved with countless tiny, courageous acts. As you build, remain adaptable. Life is unpredictable. Plans will sometimes fail. Circumstances will change, and you will be forced to adjust. The person who succeeds is not the one who clings rigidly to their old methods, but the one who is flexible creative, and unafraid to pivot when new information arises. Finally, never lose sight of why you began. Rebuilding is hard, and there will be days when quitting seems tempting. Keep your purpose front and center. Review it often. Let it be the fire that burns away doubt and inertia. Your why will pull you through the darkest moments and propel you toward the dawn of your new life. You are writing the story of your comeback, one action at a time. Refuse to let today slip by without leaving a mark on your future. Success, in the final analysis, is reserved for those who are willing to do what most will not. Persist, adapt, sacrifice, and believe again, even when belief feels impossible. Now, move forward. The world is waiting for your next chapter. When you choose to rebuild, you do not simply restore what was lost. You shape a version of yourself that never existed before, a self forged in the crucible of adversity and honed by the daily disciplines of progress. The temptation to revert to old patterns will be strong, especially as you begin to see results. But progress is not a single mountain you climb and then rest upon. It is an unending ascent, with each plateau demanding a new level of focus and intention. Your past is not your home. It is your training ground. Every lesson, every heartbreak, every loss was preparing you for this moment of intentional reinvention. The question is not if you will rise again, but how high you are willing to climb this time. Understand that momentum is not built in bursts, but in sustained, compounding action. Consistency is the trait most admired by the victors and most envied by the defeated. Do not measure yourself by single days of brilliance, but by the relentless execution of your plan, especially on the days when no one is watching and there is no applause. It is easy to be motivated in the glow of inspiration, but champions are forged in the dark, quiet hours of repetition. If you want to make your new self permanent, develop rituals that become non-negotiable, habits so ingrained that not even adversity can pry them from your routine. Guard your environment as fiercely as your mind. The people you allow into your space, the information you consume, the places you spend your time, these are all architects of your future. Remove yourself from toxic company, from circles that thrive on gossip, envy, and self-pity. Align with those who are obsessed with growth, those who believe more is possible, who are not threatened by your progress but inspired by it. There will be moments of loneliness in this transition, but let this solitude serve as the incubator for your new ambition. Use this time to deepen your skills, clarify your vision, and fortify your inner resolve. Solitude is not isolation, it is preparation. Apply the law of intentional association. If you want to accelerate your progress, immerse yourself in the energy of achievers. Read biographies of the great. Listen to the wisdom of the world's most disciplined minds. Join mastermind groups where success is the language spoken and growth is the only currency accepted. Never underestimate the pull of your environment. If you stay among the stagnant, you too will become still. If you move with the driven, their momentum will carry you further than your effort alone ever could. Replace passive consumption with creation. Instead of endless streams of other people's lives, pour your energy into building your own. What are you creating today that did not exist yesterday? Whether it's a business, a new skill, a work of art, or simply a better habit, your life is measured not by what you consume, but by what you produce. Document your journey, share your insights, add value wherever you go. The creators shape the world, while the consumers are merely shaped by it. Beware the comfort of incremental improvement without a corresponding expansion in vision. Many fall into the trap of doing just enough to feel productive, but not enough to fundamentally change their destiny. Challenge yourself to set goals that terrify and excite you in equal measure. The right goal will force you to outgrow the old self, to develop new skills, to think bigger, and to act bolder than you ever have before. Mediocrity is the result of small thinking and timid action. If your dreams do not demand a better version of you, they are not worthy of your pursuit. Master the art of self-discipline. There will be days when your motivation is nowhere to be found. On these days, discipline is your only ally. Discipline is not about depriving yourself, but about aligning your daily actions with your ultimate vision. It is the willingness to do what needs to be done even when you do not feel like doing it. When you become a person of discipline, your results become inevitable. The world cannot resist the relentless. Track your progress with brutal honesty. Delusion is the silent killer of dreams. Do not allow wishful thinking to blind you to your weaknesses. Measure your results. Are you closer to your goals today than you were last week? If not, do not make excuses, make adjustments. The only failure that matters is the failure to learn. Treat your setbacks as data, not as verdicts. Every mistake is a message. Every disappointment a directive. Extract the lesson, apply it immediately, and continue forward without self-pity. Be mindful of your self-image. The world treats you according to the standards you set for yourself. If you carry yourself as a person of purpose and ambition, others will respond in kind. But if you see yourself as a victim, as someone defeated by circumstance, then that is the role the world will cast you in. Every morning, look in the mirror and remind yourself, I am the architect of my destiny. The story I write is the story that becomes reality. Harness the power of visualization. Before any action, see yourself succeeding. Imagine the details, the sights, the sounds, the emotions of victory. Visualization is not wishful thinking. It is the blueprint from which your subconscious draws instructions. The mind cannot distinguish vividly imagined experience from actual reality. Use this to your advantage. If you see yourself as the person you intend to become, you will begin to act in ways that make it so. Practice delayed gratification. The rewards worth having are almost always preceded by seasons of sacrifice. Resist the temptation of quick fixes and instant pleasure. The ability to wait for a greater outcome is what separates the successful from the mediocre. Every time you say no to an immediate temptation, you say yes to a future victory. Build this muscle, for it will serve you in every area of your life. Develop emotional resilience. The journey of rebuilding is not without pain. There will be betrayals, losses, and unexpected blows. You must become immune to discouragement. When you are knocked down, get up immediately, brush yourself off, and get back to work. The faster you rebound from adversity, the less power it has over you. Remember, resilience is a choice, not a genetic gift. Every setback is a test. Will you become bitter or will you become better? Cultivate an attitude of relentless optimism. Pessimism is a form of self-sabotage. When you expect defeat, you create it. When you expect victory, you magnetize opportunities. See every difficulty as a challenge to grow, not as evidence of failure. Optimism is the lens that reveals hidden opportunities. It does not mean ignoring reality, but refusing to be ruled by it. Give yourself permission to outgrow your past. You are under no obligation to remain the person you were yesterday. Change is not betrayal, it is evolution. Let go of the guilt, the shame, and the opinions of those who prefer the old version of you. Their comfort is not your responsibility. The only approval you need is your own. Stand tall in your decision to rebuild and let your actions silence every doubter. Expand your capacity for risk Security is an illusion. The most dangerous move you can make is to play it safe. Progress is always found on the edge of your comfort zone. Take calculated risks, make bold moves, bet on yourself. Every time you act in spite of fear, you become braver. The world respects courage more than credentials. Recognize the power of service. No reinvention is complete if it is solely for selfish gain. The most successful rebuilders are those who find a way to serve others, whether through their work, their wisdom, or their example. When you lift others up, you elevate yourself. Contribution multiplies your influence and deepens your sense of purpose. Never confuse activity with achievement. Busyness is a poor substitute for progress. Audit your calendar regularly. Are you spending time on your highest impact tasks or simply filling your days with motion? Ruthlessly eliminate anything that does not move you toward your vision. The discipline to say no is as important as the will to say yes. Align your goals with your deepest values. Success built on a foundation that does not honor your core beliefs is a house of cards. Know what matters to you. Let your principles guide your decisions, especially when the world pressures you to compromise. Integrity is magnetic. It draws the right people and opportunities to you, and it gives you the inner strength to persist when the journey is hard. Maintain a sense of humor. The ability to laugh at your struggles, to see the absurdity in your setbacks, is a secret weapon. It prevents you from taking yourself too seriously and gives you the perspective to keep moving forward. Every comeback story is laced with moments of comic relief. Embrace them. Finally, anchor your journey with gratitude and humility. Recognize how far you have come, even as you strive for more. Celebrate the small wins, honor the helpers along the way, and never lose sight of the fact that every new day is another chance to build the life you desire. True greatness is never arrogant. It is grounded in an awareness of how much more is possible. With each day, you etch a new story onto the canvas of your life, a story not of survival, but of triumph. Refuse to be ordinary. Make the decision again and again to rise, to learn, to strive, to become. The world yields to the determined, and the future bows before the persistent. Let this be your legacy. Not that you rebuilt yourself, but that you became something greater than you ever imagined possible. Keep building. Your best is still ahead. The man or woman who persists in the task of personal reinvention discovers that the most profound changes happen not with fanfare, but in silent, unseen moments. The outside world will only notice when your results become impossible to ignore. But the transformation itself occurs when you consistently make the choice to be better than you were the day before. You must understand, every act of self-mastery compounds. Small, daily victories over laziness, over distraction, over the urge to quit. These are the bricks from which greatness is built. The world may seem indifferent to your quiet discipline, but the universe has a way of rewarding the relentless. Do not expect applause or understanding as you reinvent yourself. More often, expect resistance. The very act of changing your life exposes the insecurities of those around you. Your courage to rise is a mirror that reflects their own stagnation, and many would rather you remain as you were so they can remain as they are. This is not your concern. You owe it to no one to shrink for their comfort. Your progress is a lighthouse, not a spotlight. Become a beacon for those seeking direction, but never dim your light to appease the darkness in others. Take stock of your beliefs. Every belief is a prophecy, and what you expect is usually what you get. If you believe your best days are behind you, you will stop striving. If you believe the universe is conspiring against you, your mind will seek evidence to support that theory. Reject these mental poisons. Begin each day by telling yourself, I am not the person I was, and I am not yet the person I am becoming. I am in the process, and the process is sacred. Replace limiting beliefs with empowering ones. Instead of I can't, declare I am learning how. Instead of it's too late, affirm the best is yet to come. Develop a mind immune to discouragement. Obstacles are not stop signs, but guideposts. Each difficulty contains a lesson, and each failure is a teacher dressed in disguise. When you encounter setbacks, do not waste energy on self-pity or blame. Ask, what is this trying to teach me? And how can I use this pain as fuel? The most valuable assets you gain in rebuilding yourself are not material, courage, patience, adaptability, resilience. These are currencies that appreciate with every challenge faced and overcome. Refuse to let your identity be tied to your circumstances. You are not your mistakes, your losses, your setbacks. You are not the sum of your failures, nor are you limited by your past. The truest power is the power to redefine yourself again and again in the face of all evidence to the contrary. The world will try to put you in a box based on your history, your appearance, your credentials. Smash those boxes. Reinvention means refusing to be defined by anything except your vision. Invest heavily in your mind. Formal education will make you a living, but self-education can make you a fortune. Read obsessively. Listen intently. Ask questions fearlessly. Every day, expose yourself to new ideas, new skills, new ways of thinking. Make learning a non-negotiable part of your existence. The most valuable real estate you will ever own is the space between your ears. Tend to it as you would a garden. Pull out the weeds of doubt and ignorance, plant the seeds of knowledge, and water them daily with attention. Take radical responsibility for your emotions. You cannot control everything that happens, but you can always control your response. Emotional mastery is the bedrock of all achievement. When you feel fear, acknowledge it, but do not submit. When you feel anger, channel it into constructive action. When you feel anxiety, use it as a signal to prepare, not as a reason to retreat. Never blame others for your feelings. You are the captain of your ship, and no storm lasts forever. Create clear, compelling goals for your new life. Vague intentions lead to vague results. Write your goals with specificity and review them constantly. See yourself achieving them in your mind's eye. Feel the satisfaction in advance. Goals are not merely targets. They are magnets that pull you forward, organizing your energy and attention. Break your ambitions into actionable steps and celebrate progress relentlessly. The act of moving towards your vision, no matter how small the steps, generates momentum and builds confidence. Practice discipline as an act of self-love, not self-punishment. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you increase your self-respect. Every time you delay gratification, you declare to yourself that your future is worth more than a fleeting pleasure. Discipline is not about denying yourself joy, but about prioritizing the joys that matter most. The life you want is purchased in installments, paid daily through effort, patience, and unwavering commitment. Embrace discomfort as the toll you pay for transformation. Growth never happens inside your comfort zone. Seek out challenges that force you to stretch, to adapt, to become more than you were yesterday. Train your mind to love the burn, to crave the struggle, to welcome adversity as proof that you are on the right path. Every difficult conversation, every rejected proposal, every early morning and late night is a rung on the ladder to your new self. Be willing to pivot. The greatest strength is flexibility. As you progress, you will encounter new information, new opportunities, and new challenges. What worked yesterday may not work tomorrow. The wise never cling to methods, only to principles. If your plan is failing, change your approach, not your goal. Do not become so attached to one way that you miss the better way emerging on your journey. Turn your pain into purpose. Nothing is wasted. The wounds you carry, the mistakes you regret, the hardships you survived, they are not scars to be hidden, but stories to be shared. Use your experience to uplift others. Become the mentor you wish you'd had. There is power in your scars. And when you show others what's possible, you multiply the impact of your own transformation. Service to others is the highest form of self-reinvention, for it takes your private victory and makes it a public good. Master the art of patience. Results lag behind actions, and the seeds you plant today may not bear fruit for months or years. Trust the process. Stay the course. Refuse to dig up your seeds because the harvest is slow. Instead, keep watering, keep tending, and keep believing. The law of gestation is universal. Everything takes time to mature. The only way to fail is to stop too soon. Build systems that support your new self. Relying on willpower alone is a fool's errand. Create routines that make the right actions automatic. Stack your habits so one good action leads effortlessly to another. Use reminders, accountability, and environmental cues to keep yourself on track. Automation is the secret weapon of high achievers. It removes friction and frees your mind for higher order thinking. Make your word law. The promises you keep to yourself are sacred. If you say you will wake at dawn, do it. If you say you will complete a task, finish it. The discipline to honor your commitments, especially when no one is watching, builds an unbreakable inner character. You will come to trust yourself, and that trust is the foundation of all confidence. When your word becomes law to you, the world responds with respect and opportunities. Surround yourself with excellence. Study the best in every field, not to imitate, but to learn the universal principles that drive greatness. Excellence leaves clues. What do the most successful people do that the average overlook? How do they think, act, and respond to adversity? Model their attitudes, internalize their strategies, but always filter them through your own unique gifts and circumstances. Authenticity amplifies achievement. Learn to enjoy the journey as much as the outcome. The destination is important, but it is the person you become along the way that matters most. Celebrate every improvement, no matter how small. Find joy in the process of becoming. The greatest reward of reinvention is not what you get, but who you become. Do not wait for permission or perfect conditions. Start now with what you have from where you are. The world rewards those who take bold, imperfect action. As you move, resources appear, doors open, and allies emerge. Action breeds confidence, and confidence accelerates results. The biggest risk is not in failing, but in failing to begin. Remember, your reinvention is a service to the world. By becoming your highest and best self, you inspire others to do the same. Your courage, your discipline, your resilience, these are the sparks that ignite hope in those still trapped by doubt and fear. Be a living example of what is possible. Live so boldly that your life becomes the evidence others need to believe in their own potential. Keep going. The finish line is only an illusion, for true greatness is a lifetime pursuit. The work is never done, but each day you become more than you were, and that is victory enough. The future is not something you wait for, It is something you create, one decision, one action, one day at a time. The world belongs to those who never stop rebuilding themselves. Be relentless. Be unbreakable. Be the architect of your destiny, again and again, until your very existence is a testament to the unstoppable power of the human spirit. Rebuilding yourself is not a singular event, but a lifelong commitment. You must understand, with unwavering clarity, that the world yields only to those who persist when others pause, who rise when others resign, and who continue to evolve when comfort lures them to rest. To bring this transformation to its zenith, you must marshal every power of your mind, every fiber of your will, every ounce of your spirit into the service of a higher vision. You cannot settle. You cannot compromise with mediocrity, not if greatness is your aim. The people who change the world, who move from obscurity to mastery, from failure to fortune, do not rely on luck or outside validation. Their most important work is done in solitude, away from praise and criticism alike. When you step into the arena of personal reinvention, you realize that applause is fleeting, but the inner applause, the satisfaction of self-conquest, is eternal. That is why you must cultivate self-approval. If you build your identity on the shifting sands of others' opinions, you will never stand firm when the storm comes. Let your self-worth be rooted in your growth, your discipline, your relentless pursuit of a better self. It is here, in the final analysis, that you realize the most valuable capital is not money, not contacts, not even education. The richest person is the one who has cultivated resourcefulness, the capacity to generate new solutions, to adapt when life throws a punch, to find another route when the road is blocked. When you rebuild yourself from nothing, you learn that you are never truly empty-handed. Every defeat arms you with knowledge. Every pain gives you empathy. Every obstacle you overcome adds a layer of strength. In this way, adversity is not your enemy, but your greatest teacher. If you learn to embrace it, to study it, to make it your ally, you become unstoppable. Now is the time to silence the inner critic that says, "You have failed too much, you have lost too much, you have been hurt too deeply." That voice is not your destiny. It is a ghost from the past, a remnant of fears inherited from others. Banish it. Replace it with the voice of faith, the unshakable belief that you were made to do great things, that you are here not by accident but by appointment, that your journey is not over until you have decided to quit. Most never fail because they lack talent, but because they accept defeat as final. The only real failure is the abandonment of effort. What is needed now is a radical loyalty to your own future. To rebuild yourself fully, you must become your own champion. Commit to your vision with the same ferocity as you would defend a loved one from harm. When you feel lost, return to your vision. When you feel tired, rest, but do not quit. When you are tested, see the test as a necessary passage to greater strength. Each time you get back up, the world notices, even if it says nothing, and the universe conspires in subtle ways to reward your grit. Practice gratitude, not as a vague sentiment, but as a deliberate strategy. Thank the adversity that forced you to grow. Thank the people who doubted you, for they gave you the gift of motivation. Thank your former self for surviving long enough to get you here, and thank your future self by giving them a life worth living. Gratitude turns every situation, no matter how bleak, into a field of possibility. It shifts your mind from what is missing to what is available, and in that space, creativity flourishes. Make peace with your past. Do not drag old failures into your new identity. Forgive yourself for your mistakes and forgive others for theirs. Resentment is a chain that binds you to yesterday's limitations. True freedom comes when you let go, when you declare that your past is a place of reference, not residence. Your best days can only be lived when your energy is directed toward what you can become, not what you once were. Surround yourself with the right influences. You cannot become a new person in the company of those who are committed to the old version of you. Seek out people who challenge you, who inspire you, who hold you to a higher standard. Be ruthless with your environment. Remove sources of negativity and stagnation. Build a circle of excellence, a mastermind alliance, as I have called it, of like-minded individuals who support your ascent. Remember, you are the average of the people you allow into your inner world. Make your associations count. Never underestimate the power of decision. The moment you decide, truly decide, that you will not live another day as anything less than your best self, everything begins to shift. Opportunities you could not see before reveal themselves. Resources, hidden from view, come into focus. Luck, as the world calls it, is nothing more than the intersection of readiness and resolve. When you decide, you send a signal to your subconscious mind and to the universe that you are ready. That signal activates a cascade of events that work in your favor. Do not wait for permission. Decide now and act as if success is inevitable. Act with urgency, but not haste. There is a difference between busyness and progress. Many confuse movement for achievement and activity for accomplishment. Focus on what matters. Ruthlessly eliminate distractions. Do not waste your precious energy on trivialities or the opinions of those who are not on your path. Every minute you spend doubting yourself is a minute lost to mediocrity. Every minute you invest in purposeful action brings you closer to the life you were meant to live. Study yourself as a scientist studies a subject. Take an honest inventory of your strengths, your weaknesses, your habits, and your tendencies. Become fascinated by your own patterns. What makes you productive? What derails you? What inspires you to action? And what tempts you to procrastinate? Use this self-awareness to engineer systems that amplify your strengths and compensate for your weaknesses. Greatness is not the result of perfect talent, but of relentless self-examination and self-correction. Develop the habit of reflection. At the end of each day, ask yourself, what did I do today to move closer to my vision? Where did I fall short, and what will I do differently tomorrow? What did I learn about myself, about others, about life? This daily practice of reflection transforms experience into wisdom. Most people live the same year over and over, mistaking repetition for progress. You will live a new year every year by extracting the lessons from each day and applying them forward. Cultivate an indomitable spirit. Life will try to break you. There will be days when nothing goes right, when every door seems closed, when betrayal and disappointment threaten to overwhelm you. These are not signs to quit. They are the crucible in which character is forged. The diamond is formed under pressure. The oak grows strong in the storm. Welcome adversity as the cost of ambition and refuse to let it harden your heart. Remain open, remain compassionate, but never let circumstances defeat your resolve. Dream bigger than your limitations. The world is not served by your smallness. You are not here to shrink, to blend in, to keep your head down. You are here to blaze a trail, to set a standard, to be the living proof that reinvention is not only possible, but inevitable for those who want it badly enough. Set goals that scare you. Pursue ambitions that stretch you beyond what you think possible. When you dream boldly, you invite others to dream with you. Leave a legacy of transformation. The greatest gift you can give the world is not your possessions, but your example. Become the story that inspires others to begin again. Show by your actions that failure is never fatal, that pain can be a platform, and that reinvention is always within reach. The world does not remember those who played it safe, who stayed in the shadows, who accepted the limits imposed by others. The world remembers those who dared to begin again, stronger, wiser, and more relentless than ever. Finally, live with urgency, but never with fear. Time is the one resource you cannot recover. Use it with intention. Every day is a blank page. Write a story worth reading. Do not waste your hours on regret, on envy, on wishing for things to be different. Use what you have, where you are, and begin. The process of rebuilding never ends, for the horizon always recedes as you advance. But that is the beauty of life. It always offers you another chance, another lesson, another opportunity to become the person you were meant to be. In closing, understand that the act of rebuilding yourself is the ultimate declaration of freedom. It is proof that no circumstance can define you, that no past can imprison you, that no failure is ever final unless you accept it as such. Stand tall, move forward, carry within you the unwavering conviction that you, and only you, have the power to transform your life from the inside out. The world bows to those who refuse to quit. Become that person, and nothing can stop you. The path is yours, the tools are in your hands, and the time is now. Go forth and create the masterpiece that is your new life. One choice, one action, one relentless day at a time.